Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War with the Great War mod. Last time around we defeated the second Belgian revolt, and what we're going to do today is we are actually going to break the siege of Paris, and then I'm actually taking my troops out of there. We're retreating away from Paris. We're gonna let the French take it back if they want to, and we're gonna regroup and then come back in a stronger force that is actually going to be able to hold Paris for an extended period of time. And at that point also we'll have taken hopefully a lot of the western coast here, taken at least Bretagne region. One thing that I kind of want to do with this aircraft, we'll fly as close, because what I saw was I saw the British Navy go to port at Chatham Docks. So I'm kind of worried that they're gonna launch, that the British might launch troops somewhere along the coast. Not entirely sure where, but I kind of want to see what's going on there. But with that said, we're gonna break the siege. Lucky for me, I'll get my troop or my reinforcement from the north, but the French won't be getting their reinforcements from the east. Of course, they would have to cross the bridge and all that. It's kind of understandable that they're not gonna join in. Do have quite the advantage in artillery, however, a lot of our units are broken down. There's no unit, almost no unit, over 100 men in the first army. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and see if we can't break the siege. First part of our battle plan here is to dig in and wait for the reinforcements to arrive so we can actually equalize the numbers. So what I've done is I've dug in along the hill here, waiting for our reinforcements to arrive. Once that happens, we should be able to go on the advance against the enemy. Reinforcements are arriving. We got the French army quite far away to start off with. Looks like they have deployed obstacles, and I guess they're gonna run their artillery across it and die. They've also gotten reinforcement by one unit of hussars currently, and moving forward, but not actually towards us. They're moving at a slight angle towards... Oh no, you know what? Their artillery is just stationary. One thing that I did forgot to do was to change what units actually arrive onto the field. I got the general coming in. Not really what I wanted. Oh, you know what? The French aren't actually really advancing. They're just stepping up a little bit forward, but nowhere near actually attacking our position. They're expecting us, of course, to attack them, which is not that crazy to... not that crazy of a plan, given that, of course, we are the ones trying to break out. I'm gonna see if I can get the general to retreat in good order this time around. I'm gonna send him down to the corner before I give him the order to leave the field of battle. Oh! He cannot withdraw, apparently. He's unable to withdraw. Interesting. Not entirely sure why that is. So we're stuck with him. It's not super necessary for this battle. Yeah, the French are gonna hold their position. This is gonna be tough then, because how am I gonna attack the French position when the units are at full strength and mine are very much not at full strength? We're gonna roll the artillery forward then. Continuously roll these guys forward until we are able to start shooting those guys down. I'm gonna order them, since the French aren't moving, we'll have to move. So I'll be ordering my troops forward. We'll try to stay out of range. We'll send the... I can send the Landsturm forward, and they'll be figuring out where the range of the enemy artillery is. We can kind of estimate by looking at our own, of course. So we reach about here. So that bit right there is roughly what we got from our side then. So what would I estimate then? Roughly somewhere around, I'd imagine around here would be the range where the enemy can start targeting us. We got the siege guns closing in. This will be, at this point, the key to our victory. We'll be able to blast the enemy's artillery when they cannot return fire. Currently, we're able to fire at one of their artillery pieces. I do want to wait to deploy until I can fire both units. Or fire at both units, I should say. And not just at kind of the extreme range when they just barely is able to fire onto them. I want to be very much able to hit them. So roughly when it turns green here, I'd imagine I'd go ahead and order it to... Oh! It actually stopped moving. Let's not roll these guys completely into the range of fire of the enemy. I think you can hold here. And you have achieved my goal. Yes, there's plenty. I'll hold you there. As I do that, I'm gonna check how far these can fire. Okay, there's plenty of room to advance, in fact. I'd say that these could possibly just get up to this ridge here. And then still be out of range for the enemy. Oh, I only have crew to man 3 of the guns? I should have known that to begin with, because it already says that I only have 3 guns to deploy. With that, we start the bombardment. There's no way I'm going to be able to win this battle with intact French guns. I should actually move the entire force over to this side, so we can attack from the side of it. And then we can get the Landsturm this position. Cavalry can hold around here somewhere. Or maybe I can, you know what, I can sneak them into the woods. And then if the enemy starts to advance on us, I can throw them out, charge into the flank of the enemy. Oh, they are starting to fire at something. Ah, the Landsturm is now coming under fire. So that means that we roughly know the range in which the enemy artillery can fire upon us. So I'll move them slightly back there. That should mean that they would be able to target these pieces of artillery as well, wouldn't it? No, that's just out of range for them. Their general is dangerously close to some of these explosions. Looks like they're trying to move the piece away, fearing that they're gonna get destroyed. Yeah, quite a lot of shells landing quite close to the general. I'm gonna order them to fire at the ground, and maybe have a better chance of actually hitting the piece. For now, they're... I mean, I thought they were gonna move it, but Doesn't look like they're gonna move it. Oh. Now the entire French army is on the move. It might be a high time to actually aim for the infantry. If they're gonna roll them over here, they're gonna kill themselves. No, they survived. Huh. Now I'm actually more worried about the enemy's infantry, just given the numbers. I'm gonna start targeting this unit over here. And then all the infantry needs to get moving rather quickly. Oh, they're starting to run now. Okay, open up everything. They've got one piece here ready to start firing at us. The thing is, my units, given that there's only like 100 per unit, it's very much worried that any little artillery shot coming at us would actually break my units. Definitely want to hit the chasseurs that were moving here on the flank. Currently we are blasting these guys to bits though. Is this one firing? Not yet. So far I'm out of range of the enemy. My troops have just started to arrive here. These three up on the hill. These four forward to the ridge immediately. With these two slightly off-centered, you moving into the forest. And you need to move here quickly. French cavalry getting hit.
Glorious victories,
The second piece destroyed itself. That means that the French only have one artillery piece left. Hopefully, since it's only one, it might be better to try and focus on the French infantry, because there's a lot of them. And especially since I have so few units of infantry. What are they doing? What are they going for? Just riding in between here. We'll have the home guard open fire. That plus the artillery. Yep. Made very short work of those guys. French armies moving closer. These are now hidden. I guess I could wait to push them forward once the... Oh, there's only 31 of the... Oh, it was Colonial Marines. It wasn't the unit I thought it was. Even with this and with the amount of artillery I am pushing onto them, if they start to really focus in, they could definitely break my line, because we don't have any cover. We're out in the open. I just said the same thing twice. But yeah, there's so many more infantry on their side. Get the general closer, maybe we can inspire some troops on the front. Should get the prince here as well. Now units are opening fire from the hill. French are returning some fire. Colonial Marines opening fire. The French are moving into more of a formation to attack us now. Maybe it's easier to have the heavy shot landing on troops that are actually stationary. I'll push the two Landwehr units forward. Or the 2 home guard units, I should say. The Landsturm units. So the enemy will target them rather than the proper units. And in so doing, saving some of that firepower. Oh, are they able to fire from over here? Yes, they are. They are close enough. Looks like they were inspiring some French troops over there. We're not doing that much damage on them with the rifle fire. I'm gonna advance the infantry slightly to get a better angle. I think we might be bold enough to move all the way up to this fence. Okay, now the French are kicking into gear. Moving even further forward. I'm gonna target this unit right here. Should give a good spread of the heavy shot along the line of the advancing French troops. Once more of the units are engaged in the fighting, I could send my lancers through. Do we even fire from back here? No, we aren't. Forward. So it's really the indecisiveness of the French that are killing them now, right now. They could have just tried to overwhelm me, even if they'd lost, 1,000 men trying to charge my position. I think they would be able to overwhelm a lot of these smaller units. Let's put the heavy shot right here. Troops are firing down on the French as they are slowly advancing. Not entirely sure if they're trying to get better positions or what they're really doing. Slowly they're getting blasted to bits. Okay, they're trying to reform now. They're doing one of those weird reforms when they're all kind of moving to the same area. That means there's going to be one hell of a concentration of artillery since they're all going to kind of pass right here in this area. For some reason they're redoing the line along this line here for some reason. What I'll do is I'll send in the landwehr to bind them. They're decided they've had enough. And they're leaving. I'm going to tell the artillery to hold fire at this point. And we're going to see if we can get an artillery charge to end off the last here. Oh, the colonial marines are turning to face the lancers. But with the angle the guys are coming at. Oh, they're running just before the charge. And the unit is run down. And I'll have the lancers run them all down. And with that we were able to break the line. I mean, I would be saying that they did some good progress, but they really didn't. If they'd stopped to fire, I guess they were confused by the multiple positions of attack with all the artillery coming down at them. Wouldn't be too surprised of that. It took their time. I mean, as much as they could have broken through my line, I had 6 pieces of artillery, totaling then what? 19 guns trained on them. with the heavy siege guns as well. So they didn't stand a big chance, really. Here's the result of that battle. We were able to deploy. Well, we didn't really deploy, but I had together with my reserves, I had 2,600 men compared at the enemy's 2,300. However, what I actually was able to deploy on the field was far different from that. We only lost 240 men, but we are very unlikely to be able to fill even those few numbers, as we're likely to go on the siege once again. The enemy army was more or less totally destroyed. It goes down to the field guns, no surprise there that they kill the most in this battle. We actually have a home guard being able to kill quite a few as well, actually gaining an experience point. But that breaks the siege. I'm surprised that that army still stands. Oh, I get pretty good replenishment right now. I guess it because I... Was it because I repaired the barracks? I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, I don't want to hold on, or maybe I do want to hold on to Paris now. There's a much higher chance of victory, but I don't want to have so much superior artillery. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send over quite a bit more infantry to hold it. Then these two armies will be heading over to attack or defend towards that area. So let me move in this way. So with those extra troops, we might be able to hold it. I think we will be able to hold it. I'm gonna end turn. I'm gonna move some troops around, and we'll see where we land. Paris once again under siege, but I was able to reinforce it with infantry, and they should have gained some reinforcement due to the resupply system during that end turn. Intellectual advance. I didn't even know I was doing the Marxist socialism stuff. Oh, we've got a learned professor. I guess you'll just stay here then. Can he duel them? I wonder how. I still imagine they're engaged aircraft. Okay, so they duel with aircrafts then. You'll stay here for now. Workers on right. Paris. Lots of units being recruited. We've got a trade ship being built. Loads of stuff being built this turn. Tons of city councils and small barracks being built across a load of areas. And then... Oh! They actually did it! The Austrians actually did something. They just took out the Serbians. I'm pretty sure Serbia will rise back up against them. I don't think the Austrians will be able to hold that for very long. And unfortunately, it looks like the Italians are moving in. There's no way I'll be able to stop them from taking Marseille, which will be a problem. For the French, now laying siege to Paris yet again, they've brought a bigger force this time around. However, for some reason they didn't bring this army any closer, so Joseph Joffre is, he moved, instead of moving wherever he started, like here, instead of moving that way, he moved this way. I guess he moved closer to the factory where they revolted, so maybe he went to gain support there. Extra troops, extra recruits to do something, I don't know. I'm not sure how much the rebels would help him. We're gonna bring these two, as I said, over to this side. We might actually... I'm not in a super hurry to get that way. So we'll just maybe hold here to get resupplied. Get really poor supply from this region. We get better ones across the river. Set it up like that. Ah, look at that. The Belgians not even trying to revolt at this point. I'm gonna smash the little force here. Start repairing this. Bring the force back. And now they're even a little bit happy. The proletariat. That might change though once the college back up and running. Got a small force running about here. Actually in the way of my advancing troops. Got extra 4 units recruited here, so now this area is very much under our control. Now it's actually kind of stupid that I burnt the all those buildings here. I was of course expecting the enemy to take it. That did not happen. Now I don't have the ability to really recruit a lot of troops to try and defend this, but we'll see. Maybe the Italians are so slow that I'll be able to send troops to hold that area, and then we continue along here. Do I have any units that are faster? It's just general, just a force. Could send them there just to force the navy out. And then back to the army, and then there's one step over to that. The British didn't launch any navy, but I still want to check what's going on here. Ah, look at that. We've got Arctic Courier next to this fleet. Could be that the British are intending to launch an army at the coast, which would be bad indeed if they did that. Huh. Right, over in the east we still have snow, but they've combined their forces over here. Should deal with them soon enough. Then there's another force over here, and there has been sightings, like this one over here, but also another one moving in this area, so there's a lot of Russians on the move. They're building up a little bit of a naval force over there, something to keep an eye on. Otherwise, it looks quite fine, and it looks like I will be able to pacify the French. Now, at this point, I'm sure that a revolution will come at least next turn, given the just given the amount of time there's been. I wonder if it resets maybe once every time we get sieged, but I don't think so. It'll be one hell of a fight when we fight here, and there's a lot more troops to take part in this battle. See how the French handle that, and see if the British are actually going to land the force. Should have done that a long time ago, but then again, I guess they could have landed against the once I took Belgium, took Brussels, they could have landed a force there. They're waiting to the very end when Paris has already fallen. It's kind of too late to launch forces at that point. But at the same time, that's a full stack, and my troops are very depleted on the Western Front. But it's definitely moving towards to my victory. The French are probably... I can't imagine what the French economy looks right now. Even though the AI obviously gets a lot of extra cash and stuff, they've dropped a lot. Strong and rich. They've gone from a great power to medium power, really. And then also good news that the Serbians were snuffed out. We might actually see the Austrians do something. They have been moving troops towards the Eastern Front, but I haven't really seen them do anything but starve in Poland. So I'm not entirely sure what the Austrians are up to. Hopefully I'll be able to get them to join. At this point, because they've been moving so many troops to Russia, I'm not entirely sure if it's advisable for me to actually try to bring them in against the Italians, because I think the Italians are way more ready and way more aggressive and would be able to start pushing out, taking territory, while the Austrians would be very slow to react and start sending troops that way, since most of their troops have been, ever since the start of this, we've seen troops slowly, but they have been moving to the east. But enough of that. With this said, I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.